It's your girl, Beautydealsbff here, and today I figured I'd show y'all some of my favorite brushes of 2020. I know it's really random, but I don't know, something just told me I should show y'all some of my favorite brushes to use as far as like foundation, concealer, powder, eyeshadow, stuff like that. So I'm gonna start off with the eyeshadow sets. With the brush sets. And then I'll go on with the individual brushes, and then I'll do the eye brushes last, because of course that's what I have the most of, because every time y'all look up, I'm doing some damn palette mashup or reviewing some new eyeshadow palette. So I figured that's the thing I should do last, since that's what's going to take us the longest. Since I ramble a lot, we should probably go ahead and just get started now. So let's go. I'm going to start off with this set. Some of these you have to buy individually. So I think I remember which one have to buy individually and which one you have to buy together. Let's see one. So this is the Jaclyn Hill brush set. Yes, I know, right? The Jaclyn Hill and Morphe brush set. But I actually really like this brush set. Like, I like this bronzer brush. It's nice and big and fluffy. I mean, bristles fly off it every time you, like, go like this. But, you know, it's good for how much it costs. Like, I always buy when it's 50% off on Morphe's website, or when Ulta has it 50% off. So it's like I have two of these because I really liked this brush in particular, but I didn't want to buy it on its own because I think it was like 24 bucks. And when the brush set goes on sale, I think it's like 20 something dollars for all of these. So this is one of my personal favorites. This is the JH02 brush. It's a bronzer brush. I really like her blush brush as well. This is the JH04 brush. So this is what it looks like. I like the foundation brush a lot. This is the JH03 brush. It's really nice. These other brushes were included in the set, so I figured I'd show them to you. This is the JH07 brush. I like this as a highlighter brush as opposed to this one, because this one feels quite scratchy to me, in my opinion. I mean, it's fine on the nose, but I feel like when you have to actually blend in alongside the cheeks on each side, that's when I feel like it's really scratchy and kind of irritates my face. So I only like to use this one toward the middle of my face, not necessarily on the high points. But this is the JH09 brush. So all of these come in a set, and it's currently on sale right now on Morphe's website for 50% off. I think it's like 20 something, like I said. So I would definitely recommend you get these while they are on sale. Next one I have is the JH06 brush. Now you just have to buy this one on your own, if I remember correctly. And I think she calls this the everything brush or something like that. And then this is the JH13. So I like to use this as my brush when I put on my finishing powder. So y'all know when I use the High Shine NYX finishing powder, I like to dust it all over the face. And I usually like to use a brush like this because I don't want one as big as a powder brush, but I still want one that's going to go over a decent amount of my face. So I like this for that, and I like to use this one for bronzer. And sometimes I'll use it for blush too. As you can see, it's well loved because it's quite tapered. But when I'm at my grandma's house and I want natural hair brushes and I didn't want to leave like my rougher brushes here, I used these, and I feel like they did a pretty decent job. And I was shocked because the hairs didn't come out of them a lot like I've noticed in the other Morphe brushes that I had bought in the past. Because when I first started off, I bought a couple of Morphe brushes and I felt like they were really scratchy, and I never really tried to like buy any from them again. But it seems like when it comes to them doing brushes with Jaclyn, they do a better job than they do with their normal brushes. So I recommend you get Jaclyn's brushes. Don't just get, you know, them on their own, because it's like, no, that's just not gonna work. But anyway, so the next brush that I have is the Faux Mink collection from AOA Studio. So these are the brushes I like to use from it. So this is the F21. This is like their powder brush. And then I have the E125, which is like, you know, just it's like a tapered blending brush from who are those people called? Sigma. So it's like an E40 from Sigma. And then this one is the E136. I like this. It's a nice little tapered detailed brush to like go up in here. Real nice. And then lastly, I have the E139. This is the one you all always see me putting on a stamping on the lower lash line and into the outer V to get my nice detail work on the outer V. That's what I use this brush for. So these are the brushes I would recommend out of the set. Obviously you have to buy the whole set, but I mean, it's only 10 bucks. You might actually like the other brushes in there. I just preferred these particular ones, so I gave the rest of them to my cousins, and I kept these because these were my personal favorites. So far we're getting through all the brushes pretty nicely. My next brush set, I ended up eventually getting the Refer brushes. This is the travel size version of them. So this is the number 4 and this is the number 5. I use this one for contour and bronzer, and then I use this one for blush. Other people use them the other way around, which is fine, but that's just the way I prefer to use it. I understand why they're using this for bronzer though, because it's really similar to that Jaclyn Hill brush I just showed you. I just prefer this one for bronzer for me, just because of the shape. I like to go kind of like that and put it on, as opposed to using this one. This one, for some reason, I like to use for blush, and normally I would do it the other way around, like with the Jaclyn Hill set. I use these the opposite way, but with this set, for some reason, I like to use this for blush and just pat it all over the cheeks. So these brushes are great. I actually have the full-size ones at home. Remember, for my birthday, I bought the core set, and then I bought the holiday set as well. So I bought the core set for myself, so I'd have this set at home, so I could bring these here, just in case something happens to Jaclyn Hill ones, because I want to still have some natural hair brushes here. So these are a set I got when they had the concept store still open before the holidays came. They closed it to just sell brushes at, you know, a certain targeted price. So these are really nice. The core set is still on sale for $88 last time I checked, and I really like it, so I would definitely recommend it. The next set I have is the Kaleidos eye brush set. These are only two brushes I use out of it the most. There were some other brushes in there, but mine ended up getting smashed down because of how I had them stored, so I don't really use them that much. Like this one, I don't really use it that much. But as you can see, it's kind of like slanted a little bit because they got smushed down in the container I had them in. But anyway, I like the S3 and the S5 the best. So this one I like to use like to blend in the crease sometimes. But the majority of the time, believe it or not, with brushes like this, I usually use them to put like shades on the lid. So I like this brush. And then there's the S5 that, of course, the pencil brush that I just used to put my inner corner highlight in. I actually had to wash this and clean it for me to be able to show it to y'all. Now, a couple of the brushes are going to be dirty just because I had to use them on my face today for the foundation review I just did for you all at like, I want to say 5 or 6 o'clock today. And it's like 10 o'clock now. So there's that. But these are definitely some of my favorite brushes from Kaleidos. And I think you can buy them individually. Don't quote me, but I showed you it as one of the set things just in case you can't. So this is another set I actually just recently got and I'm obsessed with. This is the Nabla side-by-side eye set that came with the Trend Mood box. That came with the palette and the, you know, the pressed glitters and the mascara. I really like this brush set. Like, I like more than just these brushes, but the other ones are downstairs drying. I don't think you can buy these individually, so that's why I'm just showing you them as a whole. But I use this one in my crease a lot and the outer V to do the detail work, like with this eye look I have now. I like to use this one to put shimmer on the lid, or sometimes you can just go in the crease like that. And I like to use this one to dust colors over the top in order to blend out the crease shade and make it look more airbrushed. So this is an amazing set, and I definitely recommend that you get it if you can. I hope you got the Trend Mood box, because honey, this was a steal. This was like the main reason I got the box, aside from obviously the palette, but I got the palette to put in a giveaway for you all. So I literally just bought the set to give to you all and keep the eye brushes, because that was the most amazing part of the set to me, the fact that I found an eye brush set on its own. Because like Karen Harris was saying, you usually only get eye brush sets, you know, like 2 or 3 brushes, and then you get like 5 face brushes. So I like the fact that they literally just did a eye brush set. I feel like BH should do more of that, do more eye sets instead of trying to get you to get face and eye brushes. But I understand what their target demographic is like people who are new to makeup, so they're trying to get in, so they just have a whole bunch of different brushes in their set, which I can appreciate. And I do buy their sets and like some of them, and the other ones I don't like, I usually just give to my cousins, because, you know, more the merrier, and it's fun to share, and their grandmother doesn't have a lot of brushes. So I try to make sure I include brushes that I feel like someone around her age would use, and then the rest I just throw in there and let them like figure out what they're gonna do with it. But next I have an honorable mention brush before I get into the individual brushes. Big surprise, right? I'm me and these honorable mentions. But anyway, so I have the Andrea Renee and Peach and Pearl brush here. This is part of a brush set. I don't know if you could buy these individually. I don't believe you could, but I don't know if they're still selling this set or not. I know they used to email me about it, saying how they were like selling it, and it would be 40% off a lot of times. So I ended up getting a set to try out. I wanted to get another set before they went out, but I think I ended up missing it or something like that. I'm not sure. But this is the foundation brush. This is her like F80 like Sigma Kabuki type brush. It's smaller than the Sigma F80. I don't have one here to show you, but the brush set is nice. Like, I like the highlighter brush. I like the pencil brush. I like the eyeliner brush. And if I remember correctly, I like the powder brush too. This is the brush I actually like the least, because I feel like it's so small to do like foundation all over your face. But the rest of the brushes in there I would recommend. I just wanted to show that I did have her set, but this is the only brush I have from it, so I had to show you this one. But this is a great brush set if you wanted to get a brush set. So that's why I'm showing it at the very end of all the brush sets as an honorable mention, just in case they don't make it anymore. So there you go. But Andrea did a great job with it. That brush is literally my only complaint out of the entire collection. So that says a lot. Because y'all know I'd be quick to be like, no, this, no. But she did that. So there you go. Okay, so we're going to start off with some foundation brushes. So this is the foundation brush that Jackie Aina used to always use in her videos. I think she still uses it sometimes. Don't quote me, but this is the NYX professional brush that she always uses. It says it's Pro B03. So I'm assuming that's the number of the brush. I don't know. I bought it off Ulta when they had it back in stock, and it was on clearance for like $5 or something like that. And they had a couple of eye brushes that she used. They had an eye brush she uses a lot too, so I went ahead and bought that one as well. But this is a really nice brush. I'm just showing you all the clothes one. This is the extra one that I have that I was supposed to give to somebody, but they never like DM me their address so I can mail it off to them. So I'm just holding it. But I had like 3 of them. I put one in the giveaway. And then I kept like 2 for myself, one to leave here and then one to leave there. But the person said they wanted it, so I held it for them. But it's a nice brush. But I have other foundation brushes I use here, which I'm about to show you in a second. I already showed you one that was in the Jaclyn Hill collection. But the next one I'm going to show you is this. And this is the one I use on my face today, which is why it's dirty. This is the It brushes for Ulta. And this is currently on sale for $10 right now. This is the crap. It's silver and then the writing wore off. This is the number 102 brush. This brush is usually always on sale, and that's how I ended up getting 2 of them during the Ulta sale. I think it was last year or maybe the year before that. I don't know. But I had heard a lot about It Cosmetics brushes, and I was like, well, It for Ulta might not be as amazing, but I feel like it'll still be a decent enough quality since, you know, they're charging a high price point for it. And I was right. This brush is really, really nice. I like this brush a lot. I definitely recommend you get it. It's, like I said, it's currently on sale for $10. So what you waiting for, sis? Go grab it. This brush is really nice, and I really like using it. So next, I'll get into my concealer brushes. I have the KVD Vegan Beauty number 40 concealer brush. I just started using this recently underneath the eyes, and I really like it because of the way it's made. I feel like you can just pat down the concealer nicely, and then you can go with your sponge afterwards. Because I don't actually try to blend out concealer with this. I use it mainly like to pat down cream concealers and things like that, like the pot concealers. You can dig in there really nicely and pat it down with that. And then I use my sponge to blend it out. But I initially like to spread the product with this and then blend it out with the sponge. So I feel like it's spread a decent amount with the full coverage that it comes with when you initially put it on. And then you sponge it just to like blend out the places after that. That's personally what I use concealer brushes for. And I have been eyeing this concealer brush for the longest time. When it was 50% off at Sephora for $12, like it was always out of stock. So when they had their singles day when it was $11, I snatched it up along with a couple of other things to try out. So I'm happy to have my hands on this brush finally, and it was definitely worth the wait. It's a really nice brush, and I definitely recommend it. I need to clean it though, so let me put it over here back where I had it. So I have all my brushes I need to clean together. The last concealer brush I have is, what is this? This is a BH Cosmetics. It's from the Marble Luxe collection, but the number has rubbed off of it, so I don't know what number this is, but it is part of a set, unfortunately. There is a alternative brush you can use though. There's the Perfector concealing brush from Elf. It has the same type of top to it. It's not as wide, it's a little more, I guess, tapered, if you will, but it does just as good a job. And obviously you don't have to buy it in a set, it's cheaper. But this is the brush I usually use for concealing. As you can see, it's dirty right now because I use this to spot conceal my face before I start. So I'll blend it out with this, and then I'll go in with a sponge on top of it, and that's how I'll do my makeup, if you will. So I really like this brush, but like I said, there is an alternative to it. The Elf one you can use, or any brush that just looks like this. This is just my preferred brush to use when I'm putting on my concealer. So that's why I threw it in here. The next brush I have is for cream bronzer and cream blush. So y'all know cream blushes and bronzers and highlighters and stuff are becoming a thing now. So I have this brush right here. This is from the Morphe, I think, Gunmetal collection. I told y'all when I first started I bought a few Morphe brushes since everybody was raving about Morphe and they called Morphe brushes. So I figured I should try the brushes. Not necessarily the palettes or anything else. So I just stuck with the brushes. And this is one of the few brushes I like. I like this one. I like Jaclyn's set. And it was one other brush from like the Rose Gold collection they had. It was like a little highlighter brush that I liked. So I held on to this one. I like to use this. The only thing that sucks is I only have one of these. So it's like I even have to do cream bronzer or cream blush. I can't do both. So today I did cream bronzer. And then I just put on a powder blush. But I usually at home I use the Sigma what is that? They have a kabuki like cream a kabuki concealer brush that's made the same way as this one. I forgot the number of it, but you can get the same effect with that brush, and that's normally what I use at home, and I have two of them so that way I can use my cream blush and my cream bronzer, unless you're using a bronzer and blush that are similar in tone, like when I use the brown toned blush from Patrick Tyler, She's So LA, and then I use the matching and then I use like my cream bronzer. I can get away with doing it then, but that's the only time I can use this brush. Otherwise I have to use this brush for one or the other, which kind of sucks. But since Sigma's having a sale right now, I'm thinking about buying another one of those. So I have one for here too, and then I can use one for bronzer and one for blush. Obviously, I'd probably use this one for bronzer because it's already nice and dirty with the bronzer, because this is clean. But because I've used it so much, it, you know, looks dirty. But this is a great brush, and if they still make it, or if you can find one similar, I definitely think you should try it out. So that's clean. Let's put it on this side. Okay, I don't have a whole bunch of blush brushes. I showed you the one blush brush I had from Refer. I only have one other brush, and this is the Real Techniques Insta Pop Cheek Brush. I actually really like this brush. It's not on sale right now, I don't think, but I love to use this because I feel like it's perfect placement right here. So I usually use this with the Nabla Beauty Skin Glaze blushes. So when I use the dose only, I'll dig into it with this, and then I'll just lightly pop it on here. I feel like it's perfect for cheek placement. Insta Cheek Pop is perfect for placing it right there and giving you a gorgeous look. So I was hesitant about getting this brush because I didn't know how I was going to feel about it, because I don't always like Real Techniques brushes, but this is definitely a home run Real Techniques brush for me, and I definitely recommend you try it out. So the next one I have is highlighter brushes. So I have a couple. They look about the same, but they're from two different companies. So I have the Kaleidos H1 highlighter brush. I have the original brush. I didn't buy the new set that they came out with yet. That brush does look a little nicer, so I might buy it during their holiday sale because I want to try out that brush in particular. It looks nice. I usually like brushes like this, but I want to see if I'll like that one as well, because Kaleidos does make decent brushes, so I really like this one. And then there is the ColourPop F5 brush. This is another, as you can see, it just looks like that other one. There's a Real Techniques brush that's called the setting powder brush. It looks really similar to this too, if you don't want to wait for ColourPop to mail it or for Kaleidos to mail it. And it performs the same as these two brushes. And it might be on sale on their website right now. I don't know, don't quote me, but this is a really nice brush for highlight. And if you haven't noticed, since I have like 2 or 3 brushes like this, these are the brushes I tend to go for. I want to get a Refer highlighter brush though, just to see how it works. But, you know, I'm holding off because I'm like, I wanted to go to the concept store because, like, at the end of the day, even though they have a 20% off sale, like a 50% off sale is better. And since I have plenty of other brushes, I'm willing to wait. So I'm still waiting. This is the Joe Large powder brush. Andrea Renee said this is supposed to be really similar to the La Mer powder brush. But I also have the Sonia Kashuk brush that Mel Thompson said is really similar to the La Mer, the powder brush. I feel like, if anything, this reminds me of the teddy bear brush set from Too Faced, not the La Mer one. I mean, I know it's supposed to give like similar coloring to the La Mer one, but I'm like, the shape of it just reminds me of that brush. I don't know if it's the same as any of these brushes I'm naming because I don't own either one of those brushes, but I think this is a nice brush for the price. I believe I found this at, where's that place? At CVS for like $10. And then I had coupons and things like that. So it ended up being a great deal for me. And I really like this brush. Like, I like to use it when I'm using foundation powder. So it's like powder foundations. I like to use it for that. I don't necessarily like to use this for my finishing one because I feel like it doesn't hit the places as nicely as that other tapered brush I showed you from the Jaclyn Hill brush set. But this brush is really nice, and it's more affordable. I tried to show you mainly affordable brushes. That's why I don't have that much Refer in here. I am going to get into some Sigma though, which I think is still somewhat reasonably priced compared to Refer, even though from what I remember, like, they're about the same. I want to try Bristles Beauty as well, but I'm waiting for them to say what their new brushes that they're launching before I buy the other ones I want. Because if I want it, then I won't have to put in a separate order for it. So I'm still out here waiting. Then I got a whole thing of brushes over there in cases of emergencies for when I didn't wash brushes or when they're not dry and I need to do other things. But I feel like I need to pare down on that one because at the end of the day, it's like, how many face brushes and stuff do you need? It's not like I'm doing my face over 2 and 3 times a day. I'm not a YouTuber that takes off their full makeup in order to do like the next eye look and the next eye look. So it's like, I feel like I can pare down over there too, but like, we'll see how that goes. Because sometimes I just try to switch out stuff so I can feel like I have newer things. So I don't feel like I have to buy more brushes. So that's why I like to leave a lot of those over there. But at the same time, I feel like I don't use a lot of them. I use a lot of the same things. So I need to get some more. Anyway, let me stop talking and get to this last brush that I keep twirling in your face. Okay, so the last brush I have is the KVD Vegan Beauty number 25. This is the, I believe it's called the setting powder brush or under eye brush or something like that. So this is what I use to chip my Charlotte Tilbury and my Pat McGrath under eye blurring powders underneath that. You know, like the Airbrush Flawless Finish by Charlotte and then Mother's under eye blurring powder. I'll usually like use this brush and dust it in there and then pat underneath like this and then that. And then I do my like T-zone as well. And that's why I like to put those powders, because I like those surfaces to look a bit more blurred than other places do. But yeah, this is the final brush I have to talk about. I have the Alamar Cosmetics brush that's really similar to this brush at home, and I really like that one as well. It's part of their trio set of brushes. They had like a, I think one was supposed to be like a foundation brush, one was supposed to be a bronzer brush, and then one was supposed to be an under eye brush for their little trio sets they have, like their trio blush and bronzer palettes. But I didn't have 2 sets, so I just bought this brush sleeve here because I knew it was shaped the same and would give me the same effect. But yeah, those are all of the brushes I have as far as face brushes. Now let's finally get into these eye brushes, because girl, this about to be a whole nother thing. So I'm gonna start off again. Well, it was one more eye brush set that I forgot to sit with the original set, so let me show it to you now. This is the Times Los Angeles eye brush set. Now, unfortunately, they discontinued this set, so I'm sorry. These are 2 of my favorite brushes. There were more brushes to it. I don't know where they went. I had like a powder brush and some other brushes. I'm not powder brush, but like you know, a more tapered brush and all that. But this is one of my all-time favorite brushes from this set. I use this a lot. This is the 206, and then this is the 204. I would use this to put like a shade all over the lid or maybe blend out my eyeshadow primer or something. So this brush set was really nice. I think it was only like 25 bucks or something like that, which was a great deal considering the quality of these brushes and the fact that I would like buy this brush set just for these 2 brushes in there. I think there are like 3 other brushes with it. So I like this brush set and I thought it was good, but unfortunately they don't make it anymore. So sorry in advance for showing it to you since you can't get it anymore. It's not my fault. Yell at them. So next we're going to get into some of my favorite Sigma brushes, because as we know, I have an unhealthy obsession with Sigma. They make some of my favorite brushes. So let me get them all together real quick and then I can show them to you. Then I move on to the few little rougher brushes I have here. And then I move off into my random single brushes that I have, because it's not too many. So I'm over here trying to group and get my life in order. Okay. So these are some of my favorite Sigma brushes to use. Y'all know I have an obsession with Sigma brushes, and you clearly see I love them because look, like half of them have been abused. Look at that. Like the color is coming off of them because I just be out here abusing these brushes, but I just love them so much to like, you need to just hear about them. So this is the Sigma E45. Let me look at the clean one. No, sorry. Let me look at the newer one so I can read what the actual name is. Yeah, this is the small tapered blending brush, the E45. As you can see, this one is well loved and abused. I like to use this on the outer V and into the crease to kind of get that detail work going on. It's a gorgeous brush. I have, I think, like 2 or 3 of them. Do not quote me. I'm pretty sure it's 2 or 3 of them, though. And then the next one I have is the eye shading brush, the E55. This is good for when you put shimmers on your lid, so you can just go in and you nicely shape out the eye because of the shape of it, and it gives you kind of like a smoothing effect to it. And then we have, of course, the E30, which is the pencil brush from Sigma. This is a great brush for inner corner work, like this banging inner corner highlight I have right now. It's good for lower lash line work as well, though. Like you can smudge out stuff on the lower lash line and things like that. But I usually just use it for my inner corner brush because that's what it works for me for, and that's what I normally use it for. So there you go. I got 3 more Sigma brushes, though, that are just my regular staple Sigma brushes. So I have the tapered blending brush, the E45. I like to use that to kind of diffuse and blend out the harsh edges when you initially go in with color, to smooth it out and make it look more airbrushed and natural like it does now. So I usually use this for that, and sometimes I'll put a color in with it and then go back in and blend over it to smooth it out and make everything look even and nice. So this is a good brush for that. Or you could just use it to start off with color if you want to light wash in your crease, and it's good for that as well. But I'm just trying to tell you what I usually use them for, and then I can give you a suggestion in addition to what to use it for. So that's what we're going with. The next brush I have is the Sigma Detail Blending Brush, the E27. They recently just came out with this one, and this is basically a smaller detailing version of the E25. I like that one as well, but I don't have one of those here. But just, there's like a bigger version of this that they have the E25 of, and it's a really nice brush. I just prefer to use this one because I feel like it goes nice on the outer V and in the crease, whereas that one's a little bigger, so I feel like sometimes it's a little more difficult to maneuver with it. And I, believe it or not, I like to use the E25 to put shimmers on the lid. So when I don't want to use that E55, I'll use the E25 and put the shimmers on the lid with that. And then I'll just use it for my outer V and then blend it in the crease. So to me, it's good to have like 3 or 4 different brushes to do stuff like that with. Because, you know, y'all know I do 3 or 4 different eye looks. And when you have to do like 3 looks, 1 palette or something like that, you don't want to have to be trying to clean brushes in between and have to wait for them to dry just to have that done. So that's why I have like a couple of these. I have another one at home. I need to get another one while they're having a sale going on, so that way I'll have enough for what I need to do when I need to do my eye looks. The next one, I have like 3 or 4 of these brushes because this brush is simply amazing. This is the E33 Detail Diffuse Crease Brush from Sigma. It's one I like to go over the top with when I add extra colors. Like, y'all know when I say I'm gonna take this lighter color and put it above like the shade we put in the crease, this is usually the brush I reach for to go do that. I do have an alternative, more affordable one I will show you after this, but this brush is amazing and it's always out of stock. Like this and that one I just showed you, they are always out of stock because those brushes are simply amazing and everyone wants them. So they go out of stock quite frequently, and sometimes I have to buy them from Beauty Bay instead of buying them from Sigma themselves because they run out of the brush. Okay, so I guess I'll show you the alternative brush to that now, and then some couple of other brushes. So this is the e.l.f. Detail Crease Brush. As you can see, this one is somewhat similar to that one. It's a little bit shorter, and it doesn't have like that tapered top to it, but it does pretty much the same job as that brush does, and this one is only $4. So it's currently on sale on e.l.f.'s website right now for I think like $280. No, $240. And it's a great brush. So I definitely recommend it. The only thing is e.l.f. brushes break up pretty easily. Like they get loose after a while. Like them and Luxy Beauty and Sigma, I noticed do that. Like look at this one. Like it's leaning, and I feel like if I pull it, this will go ahead and come off. So just keep that in mind with these. Like it's not gonna last as long as some other brushes might. But I mean, for $240, girl, you can buy like 5 of them, and you know, you spend $10 and you get like 5 brushes. So it's like, so these are the ones I started off with, and they last a pretty good while. This is the newer one. It has a newer writing on that other one I showed you. I feel like it's like a year old. So I mean, like for $2.40 and it's a year old, I feel like that works. It's fine. So that's another reason I'm showing it to you. It's definitely one of my favorites. I'm going to buy some more while the sale is going on, so that way we can cut down on buying so many Sigma brushes, because like we're still trying to budget, girl. I still have to buy the makeup in order to use with the brushes, and the makeup is higher than the brushes, so I got a budget somewhere. The next one I have now, I haven't seen this one anymore, which kind of makes me upset because this is one of my favorite brushes from them. This is the, I think from the Precisely, what is it? Precisely something collection. This is the 205 brush. I looked on their website for this brush recently. It was nowhere to be found. They have like every other brush from this line except this brush. So I don't know if it got discontinued or what happened, but this is an amazing brush and they need to bring it back. If I had known they were getting rid of it, I got like 3 more because I bought mine on sale when they had a 50% off sale on it finally. And I just bought one because I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like it or not. And I want to buy a whole bunch of them and then be stuck with it. If I had known I was going to like it this much, I'd have bought like 3 of them immediately, because this is really similar to the Sigma E25 I was just talking about. This brush is amazing. And this one is only, I think, like $5. So that means during the sale, it would be like maybe like $3.40 or $3 or something like that, or $2.80. And this brush is just everything. So I'm mad that they discontinued this, and I want them to bring it back. The next one I have is this Nebula Noir brush. I feel like they have a regular brush like this, and she just added this to her brush set, so that's why I'm showing it. It doesn't have a number on it though, unfortunately. It just looks like a concealer brush. It's a brush I use to cut my crease though with concealer, so you know, I use this to actually cut the crease of this today to do this eye look I just did now. So It's a great brush. I definitely recommend that you get one or get one similar to it. You don't have to get that particular brush, obviously, since they don't sell that set anymore. But I just wanted to show you that that's the kind of brush I like to use when I'm cutting my crease. And I feel like that's the brush that the average person uses because you can get in there and get a nice detailed work to it. Okay, so this is in the original packaging when ColourPop first teased that they were gonna have brushes. So it's not this color anymore. It's gonna be this color, white. But these are the two ColourPop brushes I use the most. This is a E10. This is their pencil brush. I don't know what the number of this one is because this is one of the original ones that they first came out with. It was like when you purchase a certain amount of stuff, they gave you like a couple of free brushes to try. And so I got as many of these as I could. They had a couple more that was similar to this brush, so you can probably find a brush similar to this at ColourPop as well. I don't know because I still have the original ones and I don't use that one as often because I just prefer the e.l.f. one. But these are two great brushes. Again, I like to use brushes like this for shimmers. I know a lot of people use them to blend in their crease, which is fine. You should use it however way you choose. I just prefer to use brushes like this to put shimmers on my lid. And of course, obviously the pencil brush is good for the inner corner and lower lash line. These are just brushes I reach for when, you know, I run low on other brushes and things like that. So I have just 3 random brushes. This is the brush I was talking about. Adriana uses all the time. This is number 16 from NYX Professional. Again, I bought this. I bought like 3 of these when they had showed up on Ulta because they had left Ulta for a while and then they came back. So when they came back, I bought like 3 of them. I think I put one in the giveaway, and again, I have one at home and then I have one here because I really like this brush and I definitely wanted to have it in my collection to blend out colors in the crease. I like this brush as well. I don't think they make this one anymore either. I'm not sure though. This is from the Bretman Rock collection. I really like this brush to go, like I said, in the crease. If you notice, I like to have a lot of detailed crease work brushes and things like that. So that's why I have a lot of brushes that look like this. This one is no different. I usually just use it to blend in the crease. And I don't really try to do outer V work with this. I might blend it over to the outer V, but I wouldn't try to like blend forward like this or anything like that as a general rule. It's a really good sturdy brush and it's a great price. I believe I found this at CVS for like $5 and then I had like coupons. So of course, you know, it was next to nothing for me. I think I ended up getting 2 for the price of 1 or something like that. I forgot. And then I have, this is the last single brush I have. I have one more set to talk about and I want to end with a bang. So that's why I didn't show that one to last. I'm not showing that one to last because they're having a good sale on it. This is the Luxie 121 mini tapered brush. So I bought a mini brush set from somebody on, I think it was Macari or Poshmark, one of them. And I really like this brush to do what I was talking about with the detailed crease brush, which is dust other colors on the top of it. When I want to do more detailed work, so I usually like go over the top like that with a lighter shade than the shade I put in the crease like I told you all about. So this is just another brush for that. So I have brushes all around for certain things like that. And I'm going to end with my Refer eyeshadow brushes. So all these brushes are on sale for 20% off. And I feel like they are definitely worth it. Like this one is really good for when you put shimmers on the lid. The number 2. The number 3 obviously is a great pencil brush for inner corner and lower lash line work. I am obsessed with the number 13 and number 14 when it comes to these brushes because I really like this one to put blend shadows in the crease, like especially when I use my like Viseart, Pat McGrath, and like Natasha Denona shadows with this brush. I feel like they just blend effortlessly into the crease and then you don't have to do nearly as much work with them. And I got these, I've got all of these when they had the concept store open for 50% off. So I know they're only 20% off now, but it still might be a good deal to someone. I personally just wait. I would wait till they have the concept store open back up next year and get them then. But if you're going to buy like the core sets, you'll get this one and this one and then the number 1. And then you'll get those 2 face brushes I showed you for $88. And I think that's a pretty good deal because that set by itself is quite expensive. And I know those 2 face brushes on their own, I think like 30 or 40 bucks a piece. And then this brush, I think it's like 20. And then this one is 20 or something like that. They're quite high. So I would definitely recommend you get them on that deal. This one I love to blend other shadows on top of. So it's like the big fluffy brush you just take in the crease. When you want an effortless look and don't want to have to use a whole bunch of shadows, you're doing like a quick 2 shadow eye look, I would definitely recommend you use the 16 because you can blend it on the outer V and then all in the crease. And then you can just take the number 2 and brush whatever shimmer you're going to put on the lid and call it a day. So these are 20% off on store right now. So if you're interested in some rougher brushes, it'll be a good time to try it out if you want to, or if you want to just wait for the concept store like I was talking about, where they give you 50% off brushes, which is what I did, which is how I ended up with so many reference brushes. Because when they had that concept store, honey, every 2 days I was looking to see what they had in the concept store for sale, because I'm not going to pretend like reference brushes aren't high. They are. So if you can catch them at a deal, sis, I definitely recommend that you do. But those are all my favorite brushes of 2020 that I have been using non-stop. So I hope this was helpful to someone, and I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, you all in diamonds. I'll catch you guys in the next one.